I decided I'd do the video tonight for the Game Week 6 preview. Something came up yesterday, so I didn't have time. So thank you very much for joining in and tuning in. As you can see, I'm a week late, but I do have my outfit. The rivalries gear finally came. The jersey came on Monday. It was supposed to come Friday, and the hat came today. So um, look at it wasn't a successful debut for it, but it's beautiful to look at. As I said in the video on Tuesday night, um, I don't think it's suitable for game wear, as in a game day. It is beautiful, but the numbers are very, from a distance, similar to the jersey when it's moving. But as a fan, as for wearing it, I think it's class. I think it's different. I really like the buffalo on the side, and to have something different up here on the top is pretty cool too. Like it's our Bills, so it is different, and you never know, if they wear it again, we might get the W out of it. So you're very welcome along to the show. So tonight, what I'm going to do is preview Game Week 6 in the NFL and give my predictions. They weren't very good last week, but we'll keep at it anyway. And then I will talk about Monday Night Football, where the Buffalo Bills go to the Atlanta Falcons, and see if we can recover from our shock loss against the Patriots last weekend. So let's run through these games and let's see how many we can do this week. So I'll be honest, and I've always been honest when I'm on this. If I pick a winner, I'll let you know if I miss the Thursday night video, and if I pick a loser, I'll tell you. So the Eagles played the Giants last night, and the Eagles came off a loss last weekend against the Denver Broncos. The Giants looked awful against the New Orleans Saints. So call a spade a spade. I picked the Eagles to win, and the Giants won 34-17 and hammered them. Cam Scalaboo and Jackson Dart, two rookies, quarterback and running back, were absolutely awesome. I don't know what's wrong with the Eagles. I just seen the highlights of it. Is it a blip or is it something more serious? We'll talk about that again in another show. But they've lost 2 games in a row now. They're 4-2. Is the hangover finally hitting them? Like, I did see one play where they did get a touchdown, but they used 4 push tushes in a row, and I think that's a play that has to be really looked at, because from what I can see, there was a lot of false starts by the Eagles in it and no penalties given, because obviously it's very hard to spot from the human side. But the Giants did really, really play well. Brian Dable, I think now has his quarterback, has his running back. Malik Neighbors is out for the year, but there's other guys stepping up, and I think that it'll take the pressure off them to even build for more next year. As for the Eagles, we'll talk about it again. Is this something serious for them, or is this just a blip for a couple of weeks? Time will tell. Then we'll move on to Sunday's game. So 0-1. Anyway, there won't be a 15-0 weekend. It's the Denver Broncos first up at the New York Jets in Tottenham Stadium in London. The Broncos came off that huge win last week against the Eagles. Their defense played well. Their offense played well. Their special teams is playing well. The Jets are 0-5 for the year, and I'm going for the Broncos. Bo Nix and co. Patrick Surtain and defense, Cortland Sutton offense, and them boys will be too strong unless jet lag hits them, and they're playing the Jets. That's the only way I can see them slipping up here. The Jets are starting to look pretty ordinary. Now, Justin Fields is a guy that could be a game changer in this game. He apparently, I was just reading the stat today, he's only thrown 1 interception since he left Chicago. Now, sometimes you read stuff on the internet and it's false. I don't know how true that is, but it was an interesting stat if it is true. So, like, if the Jets are going to get anything out of this game, he has to play A1. Garrett Wilson has to play A1. Breece Hall has to play A1 on their offensive side of the ball. But this Broncos defense really snuffed out Philadelphia last weekend. Yes, they did give them a 17-3 lead, but for the second half of the game, Philadelphia got nothing. So I'm picking the Broncos to win this game. Then we have a game that I really thought about. Is the Rams at the Ravens. Ravens got mauled last weekend by the Panthers. Sorry, not the Panthers. Excuse me. Let me just check before I go nuts. The Texans. Sorry, the Texans. Excuse me, Texan fans. By the Houston Texans, 44-10. And this week, the Rams are coming to town. Now, I've picked the Ravens to win because I was watching McAfee there a few minutes ago, and they haven't fully ruled out Lamar Jackson playing yet. And if Lamar Jackson plays, I think they're going into a bye week next week. I just think they can't afford to lose any more games for their own division, let alone the AFC. The Rams are coming off a loss against a badly injured, strung up 49ers team, and they'll be looking for a bounce back, but they're not they haven't been really clicking. They've been playing well in parts and patches, but not got a full game. I don't know will they beat the Ravens in Baltimore this weekend, and that's because of that. I I don't know what Rams you get, and I don't know what Ravens you get. They could have it. They could win if Cooper Rush is playing. If Lamar Jackson is playing, I just see the Ravens been too strong, and I'm picking the Ravens on the grounds Lamar Jackson will be playing. Um, the Ravens defense, I don't know, will that man up or find rhythm, but I still think if Lamar Jackson's playing, Derrick Henry gets into gear, say Flowers and Bateman and co, um, start catching ball from passes. I just think no matter what the Rams offense throw at them, that the Ravens will still be too strong. So I'm going for the Ravens. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are improving a bit, but whatever they throw at Dallas at this minute in time, I just pick the Cowboys offense and Dak Prescott just to throw a bit more. The Cowboys had a good win at the Jets last weekend, and I expect them to kick on, and especially after the Giants beating the Eagles, I expect the Cowboys to kick on and win this weekend. So I'm going for Dallas there. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon $100,000 less versus at the Indianapolis Colts, Daniel Jones and co flying. Shane Steichen is their head coach there. Gannon and Steichen were together at Philadelphia, so it'll be an interesting battle between them. I saw the video where Jonathan Gannon got fined, and obviously you kind of put your hand on the work, when you're at work, and that is work for them. You can't put your hand on anyone, but he did, and he got fined for it. And what the young chap did was wrong. I don't think he'll ever make a mistake like that again, or I hope he won't. But the Cardinals and Kyler Murray aren't looking great, and the Colts are flying. Now, could this be a trap game? Yes, but I don't see it being. I think the Colts getting the win. Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor and Pittman Jr. and Tesla and co are flying it, and their defense is flying it, and I just see them being too strong for the Cardinals. Then we have a very hard game to decide: the Seattle Seahawks at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Seahawks were playing brilliant football and had a cracker last weekend against the Buccaneers. Sam Darnold is playing out of his skin. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 4-1. Now, last weekend they were poxed, poxed beyond poxed in many ways against the Chiefs. But they got the win against the Chiefs, and they're 4-1. Trevor Lawrence is playing okay. I'm not a fan. I just don't think he's the guy. But I'm waiting for him to prove me wrong. Last weekend's final play against the Chiefs, when he got the touchdown, he fell twice. No one touched him. Got up and then ran in. So I'm going for the Seahawks in this. And I think they'll be looking to bounce back from the Buccaneers' loss, and I think the Jaguars used their 9 lives against Kansas last weekend. Then we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Miami Dolphins, and the Chargers needed this game because they had 2 bad losses, and the Dolphins suck, to be honest. Um, I think Mike McDaniels, if a head coach is going to go, I would have him at number 1 to go. And for this reason, Justin Herbert should get back on track, and I have them picked to win this game. I know what's going on with the Dolphins. I think a lot of it is at the head coach's door. Even seeing him in interviews, he's rambling, making no sense, and talking gibberish. And if you're talking gibberish at a press conference, then you're going to be talking gibberish to your players too. So for that reason, I think that the Chargers will win. Now, my next game is the Browns, the Steelers. I've chose the Steelers to win this game. I have seen Steelers fans saying it could be a trap game, and yes, it could be, because Dylan Gabriel is back he's the new quarterback. He played very well in London last week. The thing is, they're coming back from London, so it may catch up with them. Their defense is playing very well. They were very unlucky to lose to the Vikings last weekend in London, whereas the Steelers are coming off a bye week. They should be fresh, and I just think the travel will catch up with Cleveland. Also, I think at this minute in time, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is better than the Cleveland offense, and that for that reason, as much as I don't like Aaron Rodgers, I still think they'll get the win this weekend. Then we have our conquerors, the New England Patriots, going down to the New Orleans Saints. It was a brilliant victory for the Saints last weekend against the Giants. They were also in points unlucky to lose to us the weekend before. This is a big game for New England. After beating us last week, they will be looking to kick on Mike Vrabel, to keep the momentum going. Drake May and co. It's a huge game for them. I've picked the Patriots to win because if they're going to challenge us, these are the games they have to win. And last weekend they came to Buffalo, and whatever the reasons, they got out with a win and we didn't, and they made the division interesting. So I think that they'll want to continue that, and I think that they'll get the victory against the New Orleans Saints. Then we have the Tennessee Titans at the Las Vegas Raiders. I just tossed a coin here. I picked the Raiders because they're at home. Both teams are absolute trash, to be honest, this year. And I'm not spending much time on it. Raiders victory, that's my pick. Then we could be a cracker, but it won't be Brock Purdy. It'll be the 49ers at the Buccaneers. Mac Jones hasn't lost a game yet at quarterback. He's playing very, very well. But Baker Mayfield is leading this Buccaneers team to new heights, and heights not since Tom Brady was there. So I'm picking the Buccaneers to win this. I know I went against the 49ers last week. I was wrong, but they're going to Tampa. It's across the country. I just think that the Baker Mayfield, Ikabuka, and co will be too strong for them. And the guys they're missing will show up this weekend in the 49ers. Then we have the Bengals at the Packers. Joe Flacco went from the Browns to the Bengals this weekend. I don't know if he's playing or if it's still going to be Jake Browning. But cut a long story short, Packers in the story. Jordan Love will be looking to get back on winning ways, and they have to keep up with the Lions because even though they beat the Lions are pulling away. Speak of the Lions, we have the Lions at the Chiefs. I think that's Sunday Night Football. I would love to stay up and watch it, but as my next game will decide, I'm staying up Monday night, so I ain't staying up 2 nights in a row. It should be a cracker. The Chiefs were unlucky to lose last weekend. They are finding a bit of the mojo with Xavier Worthy back and Patrick Mahomes He did throw a pick six last week. The Lions are churning along and are beating teams and making their mark. And Dan Campbell has got over losing his two main men as in offensive and defensive coordinators in Aaron Glynn and excuse me, I get a brain freeze of course. Aaron Glynn and Ben Johnson. Sorry. So I am choosing the Lions to win this game. I think that they've got too much up front. Like you have Jared Goff playing great. You have Montgomery and Gibbs. I think have they scored a touchdown each 5 games in a row or something, or 4 games in a row. I'm not sure, some record anyway. That both of them scored a running touchdown, rushing touchdown, one each in the game. And Amon-Ra St. Brown as a wide receiver is playing out of this world. They've Laporta at tight end. They have Aiden Hutchinson in defense, and I just think that they'll be too strong for the Chiefs. Then we come to Monday Night Football, and we come to the Bills at the Falcons. Now, what do I want from my Buffalo Bills this weekend against the Falcons? Well, I want a victory, okay? And I know that might sound, cheapish, but it's for me is the most important thing is get the victory at this point of the year. But B, I want to see my defense stop the run, and they are going to face the run this weekend. And there's no better runner to be facing in the NFL at the minute than Bijan Robinson. They also have Drake London, wide receiver. They have Pitts, tight end, Michael Penix Jr. throwing the ball. This is a very good team. I'm just looking at the injury list here for us at the minute. This is on NFL, so I don't know. It may have changed. But for the Bills themselves, Deion Dawkins, limited in practice. Damar Hamlin, limited in practice. Dalton Kincaid, limited in practice. Matt Milano, I think he's going to be out. He did not practice. Ed Oliver, limited in practice. Huge, we get him back. But we'll see. Tyler Rapp, safety, limited in practice. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver, limited in practice. TJ Sanders did not practice. Dorian Williams, linebacker, limited in practice. Like, there's a lot of guys there out. Falcons, let's see, is there any big names there? Natrone Brooks, cornerback, limited in practice. Nate Carter, running back, full practice, so he's back. Taquan Graham, defensive end, he's back, full practice. Darrell Hodge, he's limited in practice, he's a wide receiver. Darnell Moody, wide receiver, did not practice, so it's probably out. Clark Phillips III, cornerback, did not practice, probably out. And AJ Terrell, cornerback, limited in practice, so there's a chance he'll play. Going off the stats, points per game, we're third with 30.6. So our offense, bar last weekend, is doing okay. They're 19 points per game. They're 30th. Passing yards per game, we're 249.8. We're 11th. We should be higher. But they're 29th with 236.8. So they're 13 yards behind us. Rushing yards, we're 154.4. We're second. We have 3 guys. 2 we're not using enough, and 2 we're getting them from the work from in Josh Allen and James Cook. But we need to get more out of Ty Johnson, and we need to get more out of Ray Davis. They're 136.5, even with Bijan Robinson, but they're 22nd. Total defensive sacks, we're 9th with 13. We need to get higher up the mark with that. You're going to win a Super Bowl, you need to be in the top 5 with sacks. They're 20th with 10. And then total defensive interceptions, we suck at this. We've got 2. Where they have 3, we're 20th and they're 14th. I'm not concerned about them. We need to have more interceptions. We need to make more big plays. And our defense, we've put an awful lot of energy into and cap space and stuff into our defense. It needs to start producing. So what do I want from the weekend? I want a win, right? Most important, a win. B, I want to see improvement on all sides of the ball from the Buffalo Bills this weekend. I want to see a better offense. It does not have to be perfect. Don't want it perfect right now. That's for the Super Bowl and playoff games. But right now, I want to see an improvement on last weekend, and I want to see our defense stand up. My God, they were pathetic against Stephon Diggs last weekend. I'm Irish. I don't know the game inside out over in America, but that first ball Drake made through to him was a mark that he was going to be hit many times during that game, and yet we let him off. I've got over it. It's done. It's behind me. Want to see my whinge? Go to choose this video. But my point being is our defense needs to step up, because that was what our Achilles heel was last year. I can blame the referee in that Kansas City Chief game, and I will, because I believe they are the cause of it, but our defense didn't stand up either. So we need our defense to start picking up. And they did. It's not as if they haven't gone out and done anything. They've gone out and made huge changes, brought in new players, and paid guys and improved things on that defensive side. So we need to start showing it, proving it, and delivering with it. So the Atlanta Falcons are no pushover. It's not going to be an easy game. I don't think it will be. They have got weapons, and they have a very good quarterback. It's our job to get to that quarterback and stop them weapons being used. And it's our job in our offense to play a hell of a lot better than last week. And for the love of God, the last thing I want to see is them penalties cut out, because that was shambolic last weekend. And if I was playing and I caused them penalties, you'd say nothing, because you go, the guy hasn't played before. These are professionals on the field every day, and a lot of them penalties were easily not to be happen or not to be done. Who am I picking? I'm always going to pick the Bills. So I'm picking the Bills to win against the Falcons. And our final game Monday night, the last game of the week, there's two games Monday night, is the Bears at the Commanders. The Bears have improved a bit. I got stoked a minute ago thinking of Ben Johnson's name. But Caleb Williams has improved. Their team is improving. But last weekend, Jaden Daniels came back for the Commanders and led them to a huge victory against the Chargers. And I expect them to beat the Bears again this weekend. This was the Hail Mary game last year where he threw the big Hail Mary and they caught it and won the game. It may go to that again. I doubt it, but I think that the Commanders will be too strong. They can smell blood in that division where the Eagles are wobbling. So it's now the time for the Commanders to put the pressure on. And I think they will. The teams that are on byes are the Texans and the Vikings. There's only 2 this week, so there's 15 games. So the max I can get now right is 14. We'll see. We'll see how well that went. Last weekend has been nervous. But that's our video for tonight, folks. I'll be doing one again, hopefully Monday evening before the game, or might leave it till Tuesday and do it again at 2 on Tuesday night when we have the result of the Bills game. We'll see how things are. But I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and safe weekend. We'll be in white again this weekend, but it's the alternative, they call it, jersey and helmet with the stand in buffalo. So it won't be the beautiful silver and white. Now, as I said, it's beautiful and I love it, but it's not a player's jersey. So will we see it again? Time will tell. But for you folks, I hope you have a wonderful, safe weekend. Stay safe, stay happy. Always my friend.